We're back. I'm just starting everything up. Let me get the chat interface going, get some music playing. Okay, well, let's see how long this holds up. Don't need that. Don't need that. Okay, we'll see how long it holds up. So I'll wait for people to filter back in, and then we'll start talking about the game and such again. And there we go. I think I was going from this side. How many did I put in there? There's a 1x4 plate. Yeah, well, the stream was fine. The build camera just kept freezing, so I don't know what was going on. So I'm just like, you know what? It's one of those where it's either just keep trying to reset it every time, like reinitialize it live, or I'm like, you know what? I don't have to do that every 5 minutes. Just cut the stream, reboot, restart everything. It was awesomely working when I set it all up this morning, like per usual, but then it dies. But yeah, let's blame Johnny. 1x4. What is that? 2x3. So this is going to be the kind of the boring part where it's, you know, trying to figure out like how I did all the internal stuff. So I'm gonna, first of all, I don't need her at all in this. And then we're gonna do one of these where we hide everything so I can kind of see what's going on over here. So 1x4 and all right, so at the end of that, got it. 2x3, 2x3, 2x3. What's underneath here? Oh, that's not where that goes. Yeah, that's what I want to know, is what goes on under here. All right, well, I've done confused myself. Oh, that's why. Yep. So I was just telling everybody that this is now my 4th year of doing Lego streams. And despite having done it for 4 years, I still run into this nonsense. But I figured that's kind of what you get when you... that's what you get when you're using free software, you know? I've been using free software for a long time, and it's fine. But, you know, sometimes it doesn't work, and there's not really a whole lot you can do about it. Just work with it the best you can. So how is everyone doing? How's your Easter? For those that celebrate, how's your Easter? Yes, I have watched Three Body Problem. I also enjoyed it. I've read the books, and I've got to say, I think I like the show better than the book. I won't say because they like westernized it or anything, but at the same time, I feel like I'm following it a lot easier because they're kind of injecting a bit more um, um, American, Western, whatever reactions and social cues and things like that. So it's a little easier to follow. The book was very much a construction of this is a time period in China's history where it was important for you to know that there was a revolution because of science and because of the things that a certain party did, you know? I don't think I did this right. Why am I having such a problem with this? Okay. 3, 3. Oh, 3. Okay. There's 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. And then I get... so yeah, I actually got a text from Beth's mom this morning asking if... Because they watch science fiction too, but she doesn't watch the shows. But her mom and dad do. So they texted me and were like, are you watching it? What do you think? They were having a problem keeping track of everybody. They're like, there's a lot of characters and I'm having problems keeping track of everybody. I'm like, well, to be honest, the books were had a lot of characters in them too, and I think they've added a few characters for the show, but I had a hard time keeping track of the characters. And I will say it's mostly because of unfamiliar last names. It's hard for my brain to keep track of Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Cambodian, Laotian, whatever names. It's easier for my brain because that's what it's been baked in for 50 years to recognize, you know, anglicized, Americanized, Germanic last names. Easter is good so far, having barbecue shortly for it, so only here for a bit. Don't know what that was. Then having our second annual family Lego Grand Prix down my parents' driveway. That sounds like a treat. It really does. That sounds amazing. Okay, what's under there? That is a 1x4. This 3 wide. So this is a 3 wide. Oh, and the camera. I have no idea what's going on with this camera, y'all. There must be like an update to OBS. Do I have the right ticker at least? I'm wondering if it's because it's 3 different capture streams. I've done this before though. I mean, usually all I have to do is this and it fixes it. But that's going to be annoying. So if you see it lock up, let me know. Again. Okay, so that is that piece. So what was the sentence? Having barbecue shortly for it, so only here for a bit. Oh, so you're probably only going to be here visiting for a second because you got family. That's totally cool. Having a stream on Easter, like I forget. Beth and I don't do holidays a whole lot unless it's like we go hang out with family. And I know I'm going to need these 2 pieces. And I think I can just steal them from this pile of extras. So we don't, you know, we're like, well, maybe we'll have a nice dinner tonight of some kind. But we're having friends over to watch Doctor Who, so kind of doesn't matter. All right, there is a hole there. There's a brick there. And there's nothing there either. Cool. I like it when things are empty on the inside. It's not a dig on anything. That is not the piece I need. So this seems to be fewer pieces than the the Trampler and the Deathbringer by a lot. So this should be not real fast, but faster. I'm not looking forward to doing that head. The head's going to be a problem. But yeah, this is a lot of like just building to get the shape right and getting things in position, snot brick wise and hinge wise on the sides to be able to do the leg. I mean, it's kind of the same thing for every Lego set. Just to be able to get the outside to look right, you got to build a junky interior. And then on top of this goes what? A 3x3 plate. Okay. Making use of these 3x3 plates. Slowly becoming the heroes of mine. I love some 3x3 plates. They are good pieces of stuff. Anything in there? Nope. So yeah, we got we approached Thundercloud. For those who don't know, because I don't think either of you are in Texas, but Thundercloud Subs is a Mike's sub place, a New Jersey Subs Subway. It's a sandwich shop, but it's in Central Texas, maybe just Austin, and they're kind of an Austin institution, and we approached them for sponsorship for Brick Rodeo, and they said that they could do. They wouldn't do like a monetary thing, but they would do an in-kind sponsorship thing, and give us some coupons and things like that for sandwiches, or bring sandwiches to the convention for volunteers or something like that, which is great. But then they're like, could we also get a big sandwich built out of Lego? And the guy who was working with them doing the sponsorship stuff was like, yeah, there's a guy who does big builds like that. I'll talk to him. And my initial reaction is like, man, it's going to be a real sad conversation where I say, and I mentioned this earlier before we reset the stream, where I say, yeah, we can totally do that. Just so you know, that is not a cheap thing to do. When you want something like that to be built, it's going to take me a little while to design it, and then it's going to be X amount of dollars to buy all the bricks for. And this is what I do with everybody who just goes, hey, can we just get this built? Thinking that we just have a billion parts at our disposal, and that we aren't, when we do projects like this, we aren't painstakingly shopping for every single little brick on our own. So I have to go have that conversation, which is fine. I do not mind. It's a day away from the office, or it's an hour or so away from the office. But you know, I also want to remember, and you guys have told me this, that my time is worth something too, and not to just go in and say, well, I'll just charge you for the cost of making or just getting the bricks, right? And not my time as a designer for it. Because that's not a good way to do it. So I'm going to try to remember that and say, you know, plus built-in time for me to design it, and the cost of me doing it, and all this kind of stuff. So we'll see if I can swing it. I think it'd be fun, depending on what they want done. They might, yeah. I mean, I don't want to pitch that, though. I don't want to steer people away from Lego. But at the same time, I'm not designing a set based off what I can get 3D printed later. I'm basing off what is available from Bricklink or Lego, you know. I can go back and say, well, I can get a lot of these pieces cheaper by going to a different place or something like that, but I'm not planning the design around that. We'll just see what they say. Yeah, and they may mean something like a table long sandwich built out of Lego, and that's not much, right? That's $100, couple $100 if you do it right. Mostly hollow, a lot of tan, some colorful stuff around the side to show the fixins. But I just want to make sure that they're aware that it's not something you can just kind of do on the fly and you can do quickly. My other concern is that they're going to think that this is something that we can just do before the show or something. I'm like, I don't have time to do that. There's no way. So now the next piece we need is a 2x5. We've got a 1x5. I would love to have a 2x5. And this was just, this section right there was just a flex, putting a 2x5 in, or 1x5 in there. I could have done a 2x2 and a 2x3, but I was like, you know what? Let's get some 1x5s. And I think my original idea was I'll order extra. And I don't think I ended up ordering any extra. Okay, so then that's all done. And then this is... So the idea is there's these like cables that attach to the head. But I'm just kind of faking it because I couldn't make this work up here. I think now I probably could somehow, but this is fine. It looks fine. I'm not too worried about it. I'm just building at this point. Going all the way up top here. So we got 2 more of these round plates, which I got a lot of, and then I just didn't realize I had a lot of them. Yeah, I got so much extra on some of these that I'm like, I don't remember why I thought I needed extra of all this. So, Johnny's doing barbecue. Zissou, you doing anything for Easter? Any family things going on? That's what we got so far. Just kind of a boring body. We're getting there, though. Knock on wood, the camera's still working, so that's at least something. So last night, my eldest child and I went to the Austin FC game, and they won Listo Verde. I need to take some of this off. This is Technic pin without friction. I don't know why I got that one. I have to go get a Technic pin. Hang on. Unless I have one over here. I keep saying over here, you guys don't see it, but this is like my extra parts. Anytime I get extra parts, I shove them over here, and then they get dumped into a bucket. And then after a while, I'll sort them. This was another kind of a flex. I really didn't need to do it this way, but to get this weird angle on its back, I don't know if you can kind of see. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see. To get this weird angle for how this was set up, I put this little flex thing in there. And why I gave that a gray pin, I have no idea. Because I'm like that. Plate modified with what? Oh, it's a jumper. Oh, it's a jumper. So, we were talking earlier about the game itself, Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. So, the DLC for... Oh, I sidetracked again. Let me finish up the Austin FC story. So my eldest and I went to the game. My youngest works at the stadium, at the merch shop. So he was there, and then the eldest and I actually watched the game. They have season tickets, and I have season tickets. So what's up, Bunny Bricks? How's it going? Thanks for being here. Happy Easter to you and your family. I appreciate you spending Easter here on the YouTubes watching weird dude build video game Lego. So yeah, we went to the game, had a blast. I was going somewhere with this. Oh, so their moms made a TIFO, which was huge for them. And it got like a lot of accolades and people loved it. It was a Bobby Hill TIFO. So Austin, Houston, and Dallas play for this thing called the Copa Tejas, right? And it's kind of like the best record of the three of those teams against each other wins the cup. Walter, hello. How are you? Mariana says hello. Boa tarde, Mariana. I hope you guys are doing well. Happy Easter to you. If you celebrate Easter today, I don't know when they celebrate in Portugal. I know in the UK it's tomorrow. So I am not finding this one jumper plate, and it's really bothering me. So we had a good time. The ladies have a patch company, Odd Colored Sheep, by the way. If you want patches made, oddcoloredsheep.com. They do Austin FC patches, but they also do women's soccer, women's sports, some social activism stuff. They're really great. So there was an MLS patch official of like Hank Hill wearing an Austin FC jersey, and he was shouting. And so they made a patch of Bobby Hill kind of leaning in with a different jersey, and he's kind of leaning in, and you could get two different bubbles that say stuff like, I don't know you, and that's not my, let go my purse kind of thing. So they made a big TIFO, which is the big banner that we raised at the beginning of the game. And it was Bobby Hill, and it says, that's my Copa, I don't know you. And apparently the front office really liked it because the Copa is kind of the group that runs the Copa Tejas was really impressed with it, and everybody loved it, and they thought it was hilarious. And it was kind of a dig because the supporter section for Dallas was there. They bring people in, and it was kind of looking kind of in their direction, so it was great. And they won on top of it, so double trouble. But we had a blast. Lost my voice. That's what I was getting at. So my voice is pretty garbagey today. It's very rough and coarse, and I can't go high pitches anymore right at the moment. So the other thing that I was going to talk about was the game. So Bunnet, I don't know if you are aware of what this all is. This isn't a set. This is a MOC, obviously done in studio, and it's from a game called Horizon Zero Dawn. And it's a game about a future time in which humanity has suffered a cataclysm and is recovering, but the recovery, by the time you're playing the game, the recovery is pretty it's pretty primitive. Like, you're very primitive, spears and bows and arrows and stuff, but the world has also been taken over by these machines, and your story, I don't want to ruin too much, is trying to figure out who you are and why the world is kind of the way it is, right? So you're fighting these giant robots, but all you have is like a bow and arrow. And your main character, Aloy, is an outcast, and she has to figure out who she is and how she fits into this whole thing. So there we are so far. So all these machines that we have are sort of... I didn't get light. Did I run out of light blue for this? I wanted light blue. Oh, well, I'll just do this for now, and then I'll change it later. All the machines are pretty analogous to some kind of animal. So this is a big bull, right? This is just a giant bull. But it's also a bull the size of like a school bus. Like, it's huge. All these animals are like ramped up. A few others, there's like giant ostriches, giant velociraptor kind of things. There's ones that look like armadillos. There's ones that look like alligators, but they're all very, very large, right? And they're all these big machines. And each of them has kind of a purpose. They go through the world kind of collecting resources and processing them. So there's like this one is a resource gatherer. And then there's ones that are combat focused, which go around kind of guarding these animals a little bit. And you have to kind of navigate the world they live in and figure out why you're there and why they're there. And it's really great. Big open world, really good story, great visuals. It's a beautiful, beautiful game. And it's fun to play. You can sink 60, 70 hours into it. And there's times where I'll just find myself walking through the landscape. And the landscape is a real place. It starts off in kind of Colorado area and moves into like canyon country in Utah in the first game. And I didn't realize that. I was like, okay, this is a made up place. It could be anywhere on the planet. I didn't even really think it was Earth. I thought it was kind of like Game of Thrones, where it's like they're all Earthlings or they're all humans that speak English, but it could be anywhere, right? So we've got some of the resource bits on the back there. All right, so we've got kind of how it's going on the side. I'll put this antenna on last, but we'll go ahead and build it. This is, again, another one of these hoses that I'm going to try to like bend a little bit so it sags, so it looks like it's sagging. Because these antennas they're supposed to be these long, skinny things that kind of bow a little bit. And you can't do that with a bar. So we're going to try it with this. Yeah, and I am wiped out from last night. Last night was emotional and frenetic and exciting. I did lose my voice. Like, I couldn't chant anymore in the supporter section. I was just going through the motions. Did I not get a cone? There we go. All right, take care, Johnny. Thank you for being here. Good seeing you. I'll see you soon. Say hi to your family. Say hi to your mom for me. As Mark Wahlberg would say. Say hi to your mom for me. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, say hi to your mom for me. I think that just goes there. I put these two things on either side, and I only need one. So it goes like that. Just like that. He only has the one antenna on the one side. So that's pretty good for that side. I think we're now missing. So before we start doing legs and stuff, let's do the back half of the body. So that's the mid front section of the body. And we'll start in the back half. So if you see me scrolling around and you see these extra things over here, every animal or every machine you run into, if you're undetected, and you can see its eyes in here, right there. If you're undetected, their eyes are normally like this bright blue and they glow, right? You can see them through the woods. If you're detected, if they think something's going on, they turn yellow and they get suspicious. And they kind of look around, and there's a question mark with a little dial on it that says, you know, how close they are to you. And then after a while, that dial runs out and it goes back to blue. If they actually see you, right, they make contact with you, it turns red and they attack you. Most of the time they attack you. There are some animals that will run away from you. They are kind of pack animals, like grazers and lancelets. They usually live in packs or herds, and if they detect you and see you, they'll run away, right? And there's missions where there's like hunting grounds where you have to go after them and try to collect their resources, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. But that's what those extra pieces are. So if anybody's ordering them and they wanted them all to be detecting Aloy or something, you can change it up. On holidays in south of Portugal for a week to have some rest. Nice. That sounds lovely. Let's see. This is going to be 2x4 plate. I know Beth and I keep trying to plan a vacation, but every time we start planning, like a dog gets sick and there goes our savings, or something happens and she has to switch jobs, or it's been real hard to save up. I haven't even really been able to get the Lego sets that I wanted because I'm like, I got to make sure that we get our rent paid. This color. But yeah, we still want to go to the UK. And get some traveling done. I think these go under here. We'll probably end up going up to her folks in Kentucky for a little bit, and I know I'll probably have to go up and see my family in Colorado after a fashion. I can see it from here better. Should have done it over here. There's nothing under there. Nothing on my sleeve. Ooh. Should have put something under there. That's a collapsible thing. Do I have just like a 2x4, 2x2 plate or something? Extra 2x2 plate? No? No? Nobody? How about 1x1 something that's not a hollow stud? Nope, those are all hollow studs. Not dark orange. Dark orange is too precious. Don't make me stand up and go get a piece. Dang it. White. Can I do white and one other? Let's do white and black. Nope, that's hollow. That's fine. Yes, far western Kentucky. Almost Missouri. Like if you go to the next town over from where they are into... What's that? Is it Columbus or Columbia? She's not listening. That's the Mississippi. You can see right across it. And then if you go real far, if you just go straight north, you end up, well, if you kind of go a little north, you end up in like Paducah, and then that goes into Metropolis, just across the border there. So yeah. Her parents now live in Paducah, which is kind of the artsy metropolis of the area, which is kind of funny because I don't think the town we live in here is that big, or is bigger than that. So, but it's a cute little place. It's got, a couple breweries and things, and it's nice. What show is in Nashville? Yeah. Huh. Hey, Beth, we're going to a Lego thing in Nashville. She'd be like, Why don't you do that, and I'll meet you afterwards. They'll drop me off, and then they'll go do something fun that I also wanted to do. But they won't go to the Lego thing. Fishing for pieces sometimes is a pain in the butt. And I just want this 1x2 grill slope. There it is. Okay. Brick Universe in late May. You know what? That's a possibility. I don't know when we planned on going to Kentucky, but that's definitely a possibility. How did I think that was going to work? Oh, clever. I'm more clever than I thought. All right, so these go here. And then these go... So after you play the majority of Zero Dawn, which is a weird title, I know. People are like, I don't get it. So there was in the story, it makes sense after you play the story. There's a reason why it's called that. It's like you find out basically that humanity kind of died off, but they were trying to save themselves, and one of the projects that they were using to try to save themselves was called Horizon Zero Dawn. And they just, during the course of the game, just keep calling it Project Zero Dawn. But it was a part of a larger group of projects called Horizon something, right? So, but anyway, you find out all kinds of things about the past. And the successor to that was a DLC called Frozen Wilds, which is basically a it's a DLC of you going a little farther north than where you started, and it's basically into the mountains, and it's very cold, and which is great because I love snow and cold so much, like in reality, in real life, that I would just wander through the wastes kind of thing. And it introduces a couple other, like, they're not corrupted machines, but there's like controlled machines. They're sort of like a little bit crazy. During the game, you run into corrupted machines. There's a machine called a corruptor, and it will send the machines into a frenzy, so they're always attacking you, even the resource collectors. And they also become a little stronger and a little more frenzied. So you gotta look out for that. One more piece, okay. So I think I'm good on the back half here. I think I'm good on the front half. Oh no, I need to attach. There's a couple other things in here I need to attach. I don't think that worked out very well, but we'll try that. And then the sequel to the game. Yes. You could meet Hoosier, Dude, Jude, Bunny, and everyone. Nice. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. I don't know those people very well. I know their names because I pop into their chats and their live streams and stuff, but I'm not super familiar with their work, but I'll go say hi. I'll talk to Beth, see what she thinks. You know, a day in Memphis, or a day in Nashville or something. That's the other thing, is like Nashville's not real close. Memphis is closer. Nashville's still a bit of ways away. But we might be able to, I don't know. Yes, so it is it's very much Breath of the Wild, or what's another one that's similar? I mean, it's not Skyrim and it's not Dragon Age, but it's open world, right? Enough to where you just have a map and you can go. My son, my youngest, actually did a thing where he's like, I'm just going to start from where I am and go to the very end of the map as fast as I can. So you start over on one side and there's like kind of an end of the map. And he's like, usually when you get down there, that's the end game story. He just tried to go there as fast as he could. And there's actually things that'll interrupt you. It's like mid-game points. And if you haven't really progressed very far, you're going to get your butt kicked. So there are definite ways that hold you up. But otherwise, you can just kind of wander around and explore. And it encourages you to explore too, because there are things you can look for and find, little treasures that help you boost your character a little bit. But it's not integral to the gameplay. Like if you don't do all the little side mission things, you'll still be fine. Okay, I think that's it. What goes on down here? Nothing. Really? Got nothing down there? I put a whole bracket in here for no purpose. Interesting. I may have thought that was going to be something important. All right, so before we do the legs, let's do this undercarriage down here. Get you your, pay for your undercoating. Don't pay for the undercoating, it's a scam. Got another brick, two-sided. So I will time, and the music's great. So like, I know I will have to, and I've padded my hours a lot because instead of fast traveling, I will literally just walk to a place because I just like walking through the area. And you can hunt a little bit. So there's actual little animals in there that you can hunt and get skins and bones and things. And then there's once you're able to research. Ooh, I did not. That's okay. This is gonna be weird. Let's get rid of this to see what's in here. Okay, so underneath here is going to be a bunch of nonsense. Let's go this side so I can look at what's going on. So here's what we got so far. In case we lose a camera or we run out of time. So now we're building this big, there's a big canister underneath the belly that holds what's called blaze, which is like ignitable fluid. But it looks like I didn't really attach this very well. Or I did, and it'll come together on its own somehow. Part of the beauty of building and designing in studio and then going and trying to figure out why it looks like garbage when you put it together later. Again, I need more of these. So I think I got a whole bag of these, like 1x2 round plates. And I did just add them to the set. Yeah, same. I would just kind of wander. I'd be like, yep, I know I can, but I don't want to. Because it's pretty and I like hearing the music and the weather changes and you don't even notice it, but suddenly it's night and you're like, ooh, you know. Did I not put anything under here? Let's show all. No, I did not. Well, that was dumb. I'm gonna go get a piece real quick and add it here. Sometimes I'll run into things where I know I will have said something like, yeah, I'll go back and add that, and then I forget. So that happens. So like there's nothing holding this section up here. So we're gonna do that and save it and just have to remember that for the parts list later. Seems like an important section not to leave off. Are there magic users in the Horizon games? No. There are people who think they are. But it's really about being able to control, because they're very primitive, but they're primitive people who are surrounded by amazing technology. So they kind of try to take what they can from the animals, from hunting the animals, and they adorn themselves with like metals and plastics and cabling and stuff like that. And they use some of the fuels that they find from the animals too to make explosives, or they make traps, or they make things like that. So, but there's no real mysticism. The mysticism seems to come from people's misunderstanding of the technology. And that's kind of what your journey as Aloy is to try to figure out what it all means and how it affects her and who she is. So that's part of your that's part of the gameplay, part of the story. The gameplay itself is not, it's wandering, collecting, combat, mostly combat with machines, but you do fight people. Yeah, is this just so great? You know, like it gets cold and she kind of walks along like this and you can hear the snow crunching. And the one complaint that I have, actually I have a few complaints about the game. It's not perfect by any means. Not put something on here right. Oh, I didn't even, okay. A whole layer of things to put on here first. Yeah, so it's not a perfect game. The combat in the second Forbidden West, is there's like a whole kind of side mission where you go to these fighting pits to learn different moves, and without going to the fighting pits, like the moves aren't unlocked, right? So you just have basic like swings with you, and it's all melee fighting. And I hated it. Like the combat, the melee combat with just your spear, I feel like was a bit lacking. And the way they kind of made it happen forced it to happen in these melee pits was kind of like, you're not making it any better. It's fine enough to get you past the machines and most bandit camps and things like that, but I was having a real problem with like getting farther along in the combat tutorials, so I just kind of gave up on them. There's also a thing called the hunting grounds, which you have to like hunt an animal or hunt a machine within a certain time frame, usually, and if you get within 5 minutes you get bronze, and 3 minutes you get silver, and 1.5 minutes you get gold, and the more golds you get, kind of thing, or more certain times you get half suns or something, and then you can take that to the hunting lodge and get like a special bow, right? Which you really don't need. There's dozens of places to upgrade your outfit and your armaments and stuff, and so you don't need to do it. So I kind of gave up on that. Yes, she starts off with just a bow, and she got several arrows. The bows do all kinds of things. They have explosive tips, they have freezing tips, they have gas tips, they have like all kinds of stuff. Then you have a spear, and the spear does certain things too a little later on. You also can find things called slings, and the slings will throw these bombs, and they do certain things. They explode. They put like gooey stuff all over the place to trap things. They have gas. They have freezing bombs. Then you also have like I forget what it's called now, but it's like a sling that throws a stick. And you basically throw this thing and it explodes, and you got a big dial of different weapons, and you can have up to like 12 different things on there. So it's not literally just a bow and arrow. It's like a super advanced bow and arrow. Okay, this is gonna be weird. So I've got 1x6s. Yeah. Special arrows, special tools. She has a thing called, you can lay traps. So like if you know early on you're not super powerful, so you kind of have to rely on your environment and your tools to be able to kill some animals. So what you can do is you can set traps, and traps can be zip wires that explode or electrocute. They can be these big inflatable things, and if they come across it, they explode. There's also, kind of going about this a little backwards, but I think we got it now. There's also things called rope ties or rope lines or something, where you can shoot, like it anchors to them, and then you shoot it into the ground, and it basically anchors them down, so they can't charge you. So if you hit them with 3 or 4 of those things, they're kind of frozen in place, and then you can just go in and wail on them. What's up, Jack Edits? Thank you for being here. So this is where we are on the model of the Trampler. So once you're done with Zero Dawn, you get to do Frozen Wilds, which again is up north, and it introduces like 3 new machines, which I'll be getting to after I get this all done. You'll get like one of the most terrifying of them all, which is a fire claw. These things are they're giant. There's a fire claw and a frost claw, and they are just horribly, horribly terrifying. they're relentless and they just keep like falling on top of you and jumping on you. And it's just, and they're giant bears, right? And then there's another thing called a scorcher, which is like a big wolf and it's on fire. So it's a big wolf machine that's on fire. And it does this thing where it kind of rears back and then goes wham, and like really charges at you. And it's kind of like, so you really got to get out of its way. You'll spend a lot of time just like wildly swinging and like the trees and the metal of the machine kind of get in the way of the view of you. So you're just kind of like swinging and combat rolling to try to get out of the situation. It's kind of funny because I'm just like, let go, let me out. There's no. Okay, so underneath here is a bunch of these things as well. Just 2x2s and 1x1s. Okay. Yeah, and the anchor arrows are great for when you are combating flying things, like the big, so like the Stormbird that I just made. It just hovers above you, right? Flaps its arms, and then it has this sonic kind of thing where it shoots out a big blast at you and knocks you down. But it also does this thing where and the game designers know that you have limited, you can only look up so far, right? There's like you can only go about, the angle's like 80 degrees, 85 degrees maybe. And they know that they put the thing right above you. You can't see it. So it flies above you and then it dive bombs you. And you can't really see it till it's right on top of you. But then it gets on the ground and it kind of stomps around and it like pecks at you. And it's got like a screech attack. And then it uses its wings to like kind of a sonic blast at you with its wings. But while it's on the ground, if you can trap it with all those anchors, you can kind of wail on it for a little bit. And the more you hit a creature, the weaker it gets. And so if you knock off certain components off of it, it will get weaker and the damage will go down. And you can see how much damage you've taken on it and everything. And certain aspects of it, like if you hit some of these canisters it has on it, they explode and it causes a lot of damage. So when you scan it, so you have a thing on your head called a focus, and it helps you see the world, which is why you're such a good fighter and why you're so renowned throughout the land as being like this just wicked hunter, is because you've got this thing that's helping you out. You can, it takes you a little bit. So the best thing to do is sneak up on it and scan it. And if it's a new machine you haven't seen before, it'll register it for you. But it will also, once you've scanned it, it'll highlight all of its weak areas and they kind of glow yellow for a time and then it kind of fades away. But so that's like if you just do a scan, right? Like a quick scan. If you do a hold it down scan and everything slows down and kind of zooms in, you can kind of look at each thing and you can kind of select a part that you want. So if you want to focus on a certain piece that you want to knock off, you can kind of scroll over and focus on that and it'll stay highlighted. So you can just shoot at that and then knock that off and scroll to the next thing. So it's pretty cool. All right, so that's all done and that's pretty sturdy. So I'm pretty liking that. I'm liking that a lot. So then the other side is, 1x1 plate. There's not an additional, no, okay. Yeah, I'm actually probably going to go play it again soon. This has all really kind of sparked up me wanting to play it again. I have a friend who works at, I don't think he works at Sony, but he works for game developers, and he may work for Sony, but he's a sound designer and he worked on God of War and Spider-Man 2. And he was in California and he's back in Austin now. And he's like, hey, I get discounts. If you ever want a game, just let me know. I'm like, yes, I do. I want sort of Ghost of Tsushima and And he's like, there's another game he was telling me about called Inscription that was really good. So I'm gonna have to go check out Inscription. That's dark bluish gray, right? Not sand blue. Where? What piece? What piece are we looking at? The answer is probably yes. I don't think there's any sand blue in here. I think this is all dark blue gray. The Behemoth had some sand blue in it, but not much. A little stripe on it. Yeah, and that's another that's kind of open worldy and the story's really good and the combat's really good. Ferenc Miko, hello. How are you? I hope I got your name right. Thank you for being here. Happy Easter. If you celebrate Easter. Thanks for sharing your time with us while I crunch through building this Horizon Zero Dawn machine. I was going to say something. Oh, I played, I don't know if I talked about this, but I played Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, and it's like $20, I think, right now. Really check it out. It's a real short game. It's like 6-7 hours. You can play it in a weekend. And it's one of the most unique games I've ever run into. There's not a lot to it, but its draw is that you are playing as a fully psychotic character. You have hallucinations, you hear voices. Schizophrenic probably is better than fully psychotic. But the visuals are great. There is combat. There is puzzle solving. There's not a ton of it. It's kind of broken up into like 3 or 4 main sections of like unlock this to fight this guy, then unlock this to fight this guy. And you can't get past that until you fight the big guy, which leads you to the other big guy, right? So the gameplay itself's not terribly complicated. It's you pushing through kind of what this person has to go through. And it's got a neat mechanic where the more she dies, she's got this rot on her arm, this black rot, black death rot, something, and it creeps up her arm, and you can get hurt and recover, and there's no real health bar or anything. Like, there's no HUD, there's no inventory. You have a sword and that's it, right? If you die, you come back and the black creep goes up your arm a little more, and it just keeps going up and up and up. And if it gets to your brain, the game is over. You have to start over, and she's forgotten everything. So you just basically have to start over. And I'm like, oh man. I died probably 5-6 times, and it got pretty high up. So but it's fun. Like, you have to play with headphones because the voices are all over the place. All right, so we're here. We got the body pretty much done. I'm going to start on the head, I believe, is the next thing we're going to do. Why did I not do that? Oh, no, I did. Okay. So let's start on this head, and I think I'm going to try to get... So the problem with the head, because I am not a smart designer, is that it fastens on with a... these are all for legs. All these mixel joints are for legs. I heard Inscription was really good with a Y. It's like, and my friend didn't even want to say what it was about. He's like, I don't even want to tell you what it is. It's a card game, and then it goes somewhere else. And I'm like, oh. So this is the joint. It's going to be this thing into that thing. So my hope is that it just sags, and I'll put something maybe under here a little more that keeps it from bending down too far. But it doesn't have to be super strong. It just kind of has to hang on there. My MOC Lego is Thunderjaw and under planning Aoi's Champion Spear. Under planning Aloy's Champion Spear. Like, are you going to build like a full spear Like people build lightsabers. Is that your build? That'd be cool, man. So the Thunderjaw I have, and I feel bad about this, but the guy who did the insects right here, his handle online is Hachiroku24, and he's a fantastic builder, and he's got a really nice Thunderjaw that was built to kind of remain true to the scale of Lego's tall neck, right? So Lego made a tall neck. They gave us a figure, and so he built something that could have fit like that scale in between. I am not seeing the piece I need for this next step, and I'm wondering if I decided I didn't need it in that color. So where are you coming from, Ferenc? Where do you call home? Yeah, that's a 1x2. I've got one here, and it's gray. I thought I did. Thought I just saw it. So many great video games out there that I'll never play because of time. Yeah, same. Like, there's a ton of games I want to play on PC, but I don't have a good enough card. Let me go see if I've got this piece. Hang on real quick. Oh, wait. It's right here. I see it. It's skittered off over here. And this is a 4L bar. This is another one of the color changes where I'm like, I want it in bright light orange or bright light orange, but I'm not going to spend however much money doing that. Oh, so you're making like if you held it. That's impressive. Good luck with that. Those, structurally, I do not envy anybody who does that. Oh, this thing is a mess. It's those two, and then I can't even see what I did here. That's a plate round. Nothing attached in the middle there, because why? Why would you do that? And I hope I covered all the seams on this, because this is looking, now that I'm looking at it, it looks dodgy. Past few years, I think I've only really played Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, Dragon Warriors Builders 2, Nonokuni, Wrath of the White Witch. Yeah, those are all solid games. You're not missing out much by playing those. Doing well. I was actually like, so I played God of War because everybody played God of War. So I went back and played that. Again, my friend did the sound design for parts of that. So I was like, well, I'll get for Ragnarok. So I went back and got the original, and then I played Ragnarok. And it wasn't like the best game I've ever played. It was still fun. But like after all the build up, I'm like, oh, okay, it was fine. I have no upper register. So anytime I try to go up like this anymore, I don't know what happened to it. Last couple days, it just left me. I'm stuck in like this kind of little low register. So I'm hoping that some of these other games are good or keep me entertained. I heard Ghost of Tsushima was just great. So, oh, come on, man. Where are they? I think this is another one where I was like, I've got a ton of these. I'll just go grab some. There's one. Yeah, hang on. I'll be right back. Yesterday, Ben, is not kind to today, Ben. Just do not understand why I keep not having these parts available for me. Okay. Yeah, that sounds real cool, man. I wish you luck on that endeavor, because I can't imagine doing something that size. Ooh, what did I do here? Is that just a plate? Okay. So this is this. Is it just one plate? Yikes. This is going to get real crunchy in here. And again, this is only because I decided that it needed to look like this. And no one's going to care. Honestly. So we're putting the blue on his eyes because he is docile. For the moment. And then when he's detecting you, then he will go into what is that mode. And then when he sees you, this guy will come after you and like rear his head and try to launch you in places. The behemoth just tries to plow you over, but it also has like this thing where it stands up. This guy actually will stand up and kind of do this thing where it crunches down on the ground and a big wave of fire comes at you. It's pretty rad. I have no self-control. Yeah, same. So her spear is... This is the Lego version. Like if he's gonna build it to look like the Lego version, this is what it looks like. But your spear in the game changes when you get different additional things added to it. When you start, it's just a spear that has, wrappings and feathers, and it's got a sharp tip and everything like that. But it changes when you get this thing that can override machines. And it changes if you get a certain attachments that go on it to read certain parts of control panels and things. So, all right, this is where this piece comes in. This is an old piece. I only had like a couple of these from like Futron days, but this is where does this go? How far in front do I need to put this? That's that brick. This is, yeah, that's an open stud one. And then a plate, just a 1x2 plate. Fair enough. And then a bar. Okay, and this thing goes in front. Kind of. Yeah, that looks really cool. I like that. Worked out really well with that piece. There was a Mega Brand version of large He-Man swords and Skeletor staff. The Skeletor staff was tempting. Not sure how close to life size they'd be. Yep. Playing Horizon Burning Shores DLC in 3,000 hours played time? Jiminy Christmas. That's a lot. Are you going back through and trying to like completely... There's things people do for the game that I don't do that are like absolutely maximizing your loadout so that you are like one-shotting every animal that exists. And I like the story, but if I get as crunchy, this is kind of why I gave... Oh, my voice is going out. I gave up on Diablo because it was basically just trying to 100% your character. And I'm like, I don't like 100%ing characters. I like playing the story. And once the story's done, I'm kind of like, eh. But I know people will do that. 3,000 hours seems like a lot. Like I put almost 100 in and I thought I was being obsessive. So full marks for sticking with it. Wow, this is just so much going on in here. Okay, and where? It's for both of those. Okay. Getting a lot farther on this one than we did on the Behemoth. Behemoth was taking a while. I don't know what my problem was with that one. And this is with technical issues. So, pretty happy. Got new faces in the chat. Haven't completely lost my voice yet. So I don't know that I'll completely get this done on stream. I'm going to do my best, but we still have the legs to do. And the legs aren't that hard, but I don't think it's... And these are all the pieces I have left, so... We may get there, we may not. We'll see. This head is a little more complicated than I thought. Yeah, I have played at the end of the game sometimes. I get a little sad when the game's over, so I'll go back and like kind of roam around a bit, like, okay, are we sure there's nothing else I can do? Oh wait, I've got these on completely backwards. Alright, so all I have to do is flip it over. Nope, I have to completely switch sides. Yeah, I'm a little like, no, I don't want to leave the world that I've spent the last month and a half in. Okay, what's next? These guys. Okay, that's pretty easy. I get so sad when I read Lord of the Rings. Like I get to the end of Lord of the Rings and I'm a mess. It's just so happy. Like they made it. He made it to the Undying Lands. Sam will forever be his. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Some of the pieces in here, I'm like, if I don't have this piece, the whole model stops because I don't have it in any other color or any other shape. But some pieces, I'm like, no, I can just dumb through without it. How high does that go up? Just right there. Which reminds me, I need a good book. I've been going to bed watching TikTok lately, and I have completely stopped reading. I need to get a good book. How wide did I say this was going to be? Let's move that back a bit, and this forward a bit like that. Okay. And I think that's it. Nothing else under there. And then I've got these guys to make on top. See, I won't do... That's the one thing, like, I'll go and find all the bandit camps. I like fighting. I like fighting the bandit camps. I don't care about the racing. I don't care about the... for some reason, I don't care about the machine strike chess game at all. Like, there's some things I like and there's some things I don't. I wasn't a big hunting ground person. Did I not think this lined up really well? All right, so there's the head. You can see it's fairly complicated with all its horns and everything. It's got a lot of horns. We're gonna see if we can get this on this Mixel clip without completely shattering. And we can, mostly. Hooray. This guy went in there somehow. Yeah, and I kind of cheated. You can see I just slid these two things under there. They're not attached, but there's these cables on the head that kind of go back into its shoulders a little bit. So, all right, head and body. We'll start on the, oh, I missed something. Oh yeah, it's jaws. I forgot it's jaws. Okay, easy enough. It's these two things and the pickaxes. These pickaxes have become really useful in making these machines. Slightly turned in, slightly turned up. What's a cauldron for? No, it's so, again, I feel bad about kind of ruining it, but it's where the technology of the world is. And in a lot of cases, it's where the machines are made. And it's really weird because you kind of stumble on them and not really know what they are. In the story world, there are several of these cauldrons all over the planet. And the resource gathering machines will bring their resources back to cauldrons, which are then used to make more machines. But you don't know this when the game starts. You don't know what it's just this big empty doorway. And the first one you run into is kind of an enigma. Like you don't really know what it is. So I'm going to kind of leave it at that. But it's a whole additional part of the game. All right, now that's the head. There you go. With the little jaws underneath it and everything. Yeah, those pickaxes make great little pieces for the jaws. All right, so now let's start on a leg. Why don't we? So show all. Let's do one of these big chonky front legs. Let's see what this is made out of. Let's see if we can just isolate this. Pull it all away. And figure out what's up. Cool. It's pretty thin. It's 1 brick wide, so we should be able to figure this out pretty easily. I am going to attach the mixel plates at the same time on either side so it doesn't snap everything. What's up, Missy? I apologize if you went to a different stream. I had to reset the stream because it was giving me fits. The camera wasn't working and everything, but here we are. This is our Trampler so far. How's your Easter going? You doing anything? But my challenge is all difficulty playing game 1 life. There is no death. Yeah. Sometimes I'll do that just to see how far I can go, but again, I'm a fan of the story, and if like I die and the story kind of has to stop because of that, I'm like, oh, I don't like doing that anymore. Which way does this go? So I'm just weird like that. No, that was right. Ugh, I'm such a dork. Okay. So this is plate. Woke up an hour ago. Man, I wish I could do that. Sister's coming over later. Nice. Tell your family happy Easter for me if you celebrate. Bracket on the other side. Top down. Oh, I should have 4 of these. I don't think I had 4 of these. There's 3. Oh. Oh, there's the other one. Okay, cool. So, yeah, after you get through Burning Shores, which is not as in depth of a game, but it's a very good DLC. It still adds a lot of content. It adds a lot of story. It adds a little bit of the mythos to the world for you. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of texts and stuff. Where's I going? It again, it's in kind of a frozen area. There's extra machines. There's a little bit of story about like the people who live up there and everything. Dog kept me up most of the night. She's old and gets confused. Thinks night time is wake time. Poor thing. I'm like that too. I'm like, oh, it's time to get up. My family's texting me about stuff, and I don't know what they're talking about yet. So, so the next game is Forbidden West, and the story that you're in Zero Dawn definitely does have it. It's not a cliffhanger, but it's definitely a ooh, what happened kind of moment at the very end, and it will carry on to Forbidden West. And Forbidden West takes you basically west from where you end up, and it goes from like it kind of eliminates Nevada altogether, but you're basically going from canyon country in Utah to the coast, right, to like San Francisco area. And then the DLC for that is Burning Shores, which kind of goes a little farther south into like a flooded out area of what was LA. So it's super fun. It's just such a great game. By 3 over the back. You know what? We don't have a whole lot left. Maybe I'll just keep going until I'm done today. Yeah, the DLC's Los Angeles, basically. And whatever happened to the world, it flooded. So Los Angeles, or what was Los Angeles, is basically a massive islands and some coast with lava and stuff on it. It's fun. New machines, completely new machines in Forbidden West. Yeah, so this is what was one of the things that cinched it for me was, since I grew up in Colorado, this all looked really familiar, right? I'm like, okay, it feels like when I was a kid and we'd go hiking or camping. That's what this all feels like. But I just chalked it up to, you know, it's mountains. Colorado's a mountainous place. They could have got this from anywhere in the Pacific Northwest. They could have got it from the Appalachians. You know, they could have got it from any mountains. Canada. But then playing along, I'm walking through, and there's a lot of ruins. There's lots of buildings that are in ruins, right? And it's mostly just like skyscrapers that are rusted out and some old brick buildings that have fallen apart. And there's lots of like, you notice there's tanks and cars and some downed aircraft, and you're like, huh, interesting. So I'm moseying along, not really caring, and I stumble upon these ruins that look exactly like the chapel at the Air Force Academy, which I've been to. Growing up, we went to Air Force football games all the time. Oh, that's such a cheat. I have to do that. Is that just that's that bit. Okay. I don't have those pieces anywhere. Huh. Oh no, they're there. Okay. I stack them up like this when I'm sorting them, and then I don't see them because they look like a big brick. Yeah, there's Hollywood. There's the Hollywood sign area, LA Airport. But the first time I was like, wait a minute, that's the Air Force Chapel. It's this big A-frame glass chapel, and I was like, this looks like the ruins of that. And so that's when I looked it up, and the developers were like, yeah, she starts off in basically like Colorado Springs. I'm like, what? So from then I was like, this must be Zion Canyon. This must be this. This must be that. You know, there's an area that actually is in, I think it's Nevada, but it's a big solar array. It's that big round solar array with a giant tower in it. That's a landmark. That's a whole village. It's all an encampment. So that it's pretty cool when you start realizing that. Backwards from here. Sorry, I could have this on camera more. I'm kind of building it in front of my face. Oh, and again, I had these. I went and got more because I'm dumb. So these are just bars and clips, and I'm hoping that gravity is enough to where it just kind of holds on to it. Because I don't have a whole lot of... is that a tile? So these aren't click hinges or anything, so I'm hopeful that they will sustain the weight and not collapse or anything. So we'll see how it goes. We'll know as soon as it's done being built. That's for sure. So that's when the game goes from, oh, this is a... Oh, I put those on backwards, man. This is a fantasy game. It lives in, you know, it could be anywhere in the... You know, they made up a world for it, and then you're like, nope, this is actually in the here and now. Brick Fury. Hello, Brick Fury. Happy Easter to you. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. You're also playing through the game? Playing through the Horizon. I'm from the UK and obviously don't recognize. Yeah, it's yeah, so the Golden Gate Bridge shows up. It's kind of off in the distance because it's... you can kind of get close to it, but not real close to it. And I've never been there, but yeah, going through lots of the area of Colorado where I went camping as a kid, I was like, oh, and being through like Zion and Bryce Canyons, all that canyon country in Utah, that was pretty cool. I think these are just plates on the back here, so. Yeah, it is a little surreal. Still fun, though. I have a lot of fun. And it's just a beautiful game, and I think they may have, because the developers are Danish, right? It's really interesting to me that they picked that area of the world to focus on for the game. Like, they could have picked anywhere. There are equally as beautiful places in the world to focus on, and I think it's kind of cool that they did that. Whereabouts in the UK are you? Yeah, I was just saying earlier that I'm doing all this. I'm like, yep, time for a replay. I've only played through it twice. Well, all the way through it twice since Burning Shores came out. I've played Zero Dawn 3 times. But I haven't gone past Zero Dawn for the 3rd time. I'm kind of the longer it goes, the kind of clunkier Zero Dawn gets, but it's still like it's still pretty good, you know. Something goes up top here. These guys. That doesn't fit there. Oh, that's because there's a whole other. Okay, cool. We were planning a trip this year, but I don't think it's going to happen. And my wife wanted to go up to that area. We're kind of Anglophiles a little bit. So it's like we want to go not to see all the landmarks, but we're like, can we go to a taping of Cats Does Countdown or Taskmaster or something? Because that's really what we want to do. I don't have any of those white slopes. Really? Should have a ton of those. So she wants to go where the Beatles are from. I want to go watch a football game. So I don't know. I have a friend in our football club here in Austin who's kind of from there. He has dual citizenship, and I was like, where do I need to go watch a football game? And he's like, don't go to like any of the big ones because it's such a madhouse, and you may not even be able to get tickets. And he said this little place in this south of London, Southampton, Southport, something like. Anyway, he's like, they don't have a very good season, but they're a very good football atmosphere. I was like, all right, I'm sold. Because our supporter group, I think, is probably one of the better supporter groups in MLS. I will stake my Lego collection on that. So it'd be nice to go to a place that's got a good. And I tried contacting their supporter group, and I didn't hear back. I was like, hey, do you guys do like exchanges for people who are coming into town? Like, can we bring some patches or scarves or something? And I didn't hear back. I'm like, well, they're not that good. Yep. Oh, Nevada is represented because there's an area in the desert it's just desert now, but it's the Vegas, it's the Strip. Like there's an underground casino and everything that you have to find things for. And it's pretty. It's very pretty. And you get to fight an underwater beastie, and it's scary. It's so scary. Oh man, I'm sweating. All right, so here's his hooves. I'm a big women's soccer fan, so I want to go see Katie McCabe play with Arsenal. Because I don't think we're going to make it to Ireland to watch them play. But I think I could make it to a women's Arsenal game. All right, so front legs done. And you can kind of see like that little thing hangs pretty low. But that's part of it. I think it's funny because it looks like a bull, but it's got this big, like, almost utter, like, thing that it's holding all its stuff in. So, all right, back legs, and then we're done. I'm going to go, I'm going to keep rolling here because we're so close to being done. We're going to go over our 2 hours, but I apologize. Not really into football at all. It's never really interested me. Fair enough. My whole family doesn't. My whole family. Beth doesn't. My wife doesn't care about it either. The rest of my family, we're all in, man. It took me years to get them interested in it, but they finally, once like the women's team got real big, and then we got a MLS team here. They're like, yeah, we're into it now, and now the The ladies are the preeminent patch makers for women's soccer and our MLS team, and their TIFO was just recognized as being a real good contribution to the team and everything. So pretty cool stuff, man. Hey Beth, could you turn on the AC? Yeah, I'm broiling up here. Just lower the temperature. I think the AC is already on. All right, so let's pull this out so we can kind of see what's going on internally. What's up, Cliff? You have such timing. It literally is 2 hours after I started. Noon, straight up noon. I don't know how you do it. I'm gonna hang out till the legs are done, so we still got a few minutes. That's a clip and a 1x4. Do I have any 1x4s left? Interesting. I shorted myself on 1x4 plates. My counting is terrible. Thank you. Happy Easter to you, Cliff. Thank you for coming by. I hope you and your family are having a nice day. Do you have any Easter plans? No, that's fine. I figured I'm shocked that I have this many people. I'm shocked and pleased that this many people chose to spend their Easter morning with me. So thank you all very much for being here. I love you guys. Is that a bracket? Yes, that is a bracket. I do have those guys. One of those guys. There's one. Yeah, Beth and I don't do a whole lot for big holidays anymore. It's just the two of us and all our dogs. My kids are grown. Half the time they spend either with their friends or with their moms on holidays. And again, I didn't keep having to go off camera to get these pieces. Well, those aren't structurally important, so I'll finish that later. Watching a Horizon film set as a prequel to Zero Dawn during the events of the Pharaoh program? Ooh. 100% Brick Fury. I would contribute voice talent to that if you wanted. I was a theater kid, if that means anything. Let me also introduce you to my Chapter 3 fanfic, Horizon Zero Dawn. No, I call it Horizon Nemesis, because that's where the thing was going, right? And I know they're probably going to set it in the Pacific Northwest, but I set mine in the Mississippi Valley, because I wanted Aloy to explore the caves out in Kentucky. So it was like she crossed over the vast wasteland that was Kansas, Oklahoma kind of thing. I thought this was really cool. It's just a big dust storm. The whole thing's a dust storm. There's nothing out there. And finds her way over into like the Mississippi Valley and the Kentucky, Missouri area where all those caverns are. And there's like these things in the caverns. But, I wrote up a whole thing about what happens when with the Nemesis thing. Created new tribes, created new machines, like the whole 9 yards. I need to sketch out some of those machines too, because I got the ideas for them, but now I need to go back and be like, all right, well, here they are. Here's what they look like. Kind of a basic story about what I think would happen. Finds her coming back to like, heart. Where does she start? It's Mother's Heart. Mother's crown, mother's cradle, mother's heart, mother's embrace, something like that. Ted Farrell, Plague and Horizon Forbidden West. Yes, so absolutely, if you write something, I would read it, I would watch it. That sounds fun. And doable because it's kind of near future kind of thing. Like it could happen relatively soon. So that's really cool. I wish you luck. Keep me posted. Again, I really just like the story and the world building behind the game. So I apologize for building so off camera. I feel like I've been doing it all off camera. We're nearly done. Got lower legs to do. On these back lower legs, and then we're finished. And if you'll permit me, my voice has got about 10 minutes left. I'll bring the Deathbringer and the what's his nuts called? The Behemoth back. We'll do a comparison. Okay, so these guys are backwards. Pointing towards. Are you playing Sims? I don't hear Grey's Anatomy going in the background, so I think she's back to playing Sims. She's back on her bullshit, playing the Sims. So all these pieces, these red and yellow pieces, those are for the eyes that... I have an extra one of these. I don't know where that went. Did I miss a thing under here? Yeah, sure did. Is there more to that or just that one? Nope. Yeah, we get to the precipice of the Hoover Dam. There's that big lake area where you can kind of swim along to it and see the dam. You can't really interact with it, though. It's pretty cool, though. So I'm a little worried about the strength of these legs. Not gonna lie. I think it'll be fine, but we'll see. And then these guys are the same. Build all these at once. Oh no, these are on. So I got extra of those. These are on ball joints. So I try to do ball joints for the ankles because you want, if the legs splay at all, you want the feet to be able to kind of accommodate it. And if I'm putting it on a terrain that's got odd brick shapes and stuff, I want to be able to make sure that they're sort of level. These guys all just sit on the terrain that I've got right now. There's no attaching them. The only one that attaches so far, the tall neck, because it's got those Technic things in its heels. So you can attach those to those Technic plates. And that works pretty well. Just kind of stick it onto a landscape. And then the long leg, because I want to have it posed where it's running. So it's only attached via 1 foot, and the other one kind of sticks back. So you can't do it, it'll fall over if it balances funny. Yep, Las Vegas ruins. That's a good one. Uh-oh. I messed that up. This needs to be that one. Las Vegas is fun because that's where you get your rebreather for the first time, where you can kind of go down under the water for an extended length of time, which is nice. That's a good introduction to that level. And then you get the embers to go bring back and like kind of celebrate different events. There's an Easter one too. If you didn't know, there's an Easter ember. You can go and it animates a bunch of Easter eggs. All right, so let's see. The body is curved slightly down, and the legs are fairly straight on the front and bent a little backwards on the back. All right, and we got an antenna. And there is your... See if I can lower the camera without ruining everything on the planet. So there is your Trampler. Segmented in the middle. You can bend his waist a little bit if you want. Right? A little bit there, a little flexibility. Legs are all articulated. Head technically moves. It's on a ball joint in there, but it's got these weird attachments here, so it doesn't move around too much. It's a close-up of the head there with all its horns and things on it. It's got these weird blade things that it uses. A lot of these things do is like use their horns and things to kind of gash at the ground to get resources. So, but there you go. That's your Trampler. Give me a second. I'm gonna go get the Deathbringer and the Behemoth, and we'll do a size comparison real quick. And I'll grab an Aloy figure so we kind of get a look at that too. Apparently gave myself plenty of extra pieces. I don't know where any of these go. I don't think I shorted anything anywhere. Yeah, so cool. I'll be right back. Again, I'm super excited about all this because this is the last, and I'm gonna go ahead and hide this thing because we don't need it anymore. This is the last of the machines that I'm doing for this display. So here's your Behemoth, slightly bigger, right? It's a little bigger than the Trampler. It's got a bigger head. It's got that big case in the middle, that big resource case in the middle. These things need to be a little more adjusted like that. It's got an enormous frickin' head, honestly, but I think it looked pretty good. Turned out really well. And then, of course, you got your Deathbringer. Put this guy up a little bit closer here. Your Deathbringer, it does need these to support it. It doesn't really need it to support it, but it helps. These are kind of stable because they're click hinges, but the weight up top is just too big. So it does need it. The legs are articulated. It swivels. The guns, the guns move around. The turrets move around. I tried making it as screen accurate as possible. So there's a lot of things going on with like the way it's kind of articulated in the back here. I'm trying to pick it up without being too... So it's got all those pistons and things underneath. This was a lot of fun. So this is it. I'm done with all my machines. The next thing to do is put them all on the display that I got going on, which is 3 plates by 6 plates, and it's got some ruins and some mountains and some flora on it and a river. And then I've got a big sign that says Horizon Zero Dawn on it that I built. So attaching that's going to be a bit of a thing. But yeah, so we're good. We're done. This is all I'm going to do for this. I might build a little bandit camp for the display. So I'm trying to make more characters that look like Aloy. Face paint and weird hair and shoulder pads and give them all bows and arrows and spears and things. So look for the final version of this at Brick Rodeo this summer, July 4th. I'll take pictures of it, obviously, because I'm super proud of the whole project. But anyway, that's it. We ran about 15 minutes over, so I thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming in on Easter, and I hope everybody has a great rest of your day and a good week. And I'll see you on the socials. Thursday, I think I'll be here. I don't think I have any other plans. And I got a set that I can build real quick. So we can build this one next time. We can either build a space set. Oh, so I've done all the other machines. So you can see I've built, I'll show you real quick. Let's do design. I'll show you what I've got. Oh goodness, it launched all of them. It launched all the folders. So this is all of them. I have to take pictures of these now that they're done, but so yeah. It started with these two. The Shellwalker and the Strider. Then a Lancehorn, Sawtooth, Bellowback, and I have instructions for if you wanted to do it's a metal bite, I think, or not a metal bite, because metal bites are both orange. But if you wanted to do a frost bellowback or a freeze bellowback, what are those called? It's got all the blue in here instead. Scrapper, a Glinthawk, Corruptor, Snapmaw, and these are the ones I did recently. So there's your Long Leg and Grazer and the Deathbringer, and then here's the Ravager and the Charger, Broadhead, Behemoth, and Stormbird. So the Thunderjaw, I'll show you the Thunderjaw, because it's not my Thunderjaw. I will not take credit for this Thunderjaw. So let's close this. I don't want to save any. Oh, yeah, I do want to save stuff. I got to put that back. When I display it, I will absolutely give credit to the designer of it, which is Hachiroku24. I don't know the dude's real name. He's the guy who did the insects. But I did do it in the studio so I could figure out what parts to build. So this is his design in studio, at least. And the focus is off on the cameras. The most inspired thing, which I don't have in here, is the machine gun kind of ammo strap things underneath it are video, the sets from the video containers things. It's a big box with a strap on it, and he uses the straps underneath to I have it built. They're all built. This is just a rendering of it. As like those machine straps. He's got two of those video straps under there, and it's really cool. This is a great size. No real reason to redo it. It's perfect the way it is. So I just built this, and on the display at Brick Rodeo, I'll make sure to credit him for the build. But everything else is mine. I've got, let's see if I can show because I know I have a photo kind of recent. These are all photos from, so here's kind of where I'm at with the display. I don't think we need to see that really anymore. Oh no, maybe we do. Display capture. Nope. What is this? It's not table cam. Oh, it is table cam. Okay, we don't need to see that. Yeah, this is what it's gonna look like. I need a back row of landscape along there, and I'm just gonna kind of put all the machines on it and be done with it. And then over here on the side, I'm gonna make a little like entrance to a bandit camp that like the corruptor is going after. And then I'll figure out a way to like hang the thunder or the Stormbird up on top so you can see it, and then the sign will be kind of back in here. Figure out how to hoist that up, and then the mountains will be. I'll put a little bit of mountain stuff back here too, but that's about it. I'm gonna do some things from the game on the landscapes, like those flower crystal things that you have to whack open that release vines. I'm gonna scatter those around here a little bit. I can't really think of anything else. So this will be on display at Brick Rodeo if you want to go. So that's it. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you Thursday at 8 p.m. Central. I hope you have a good rest of your day and a happy Easter, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.